Good morning, hello, and welcome to today's audio video here on Pretty Privilege, where I talk about philosophy and inner work prompts to help you better yourself as an individual. I'm Tenemane, and today I wanted to talk about 3 reasons to not let fear win. Now, as this channel's quote unquote guinea pig, I know with me in the past, I was fearful of failing. I was fearful of certain areas in life, of having a scarcity broke mentality. I was really fearful of starting a YouTube channel because I assumed that people would only judge me in a negative manner. I was fearful of driving on the freeway postpartum. I was fearful of stepping out into life and experiencing new activities. I was fearful of a lot. And not once did I ever stop to realize life is change. And there are many reasons as to why being afraid of life itself, it's understandable. I get it. But there are also reasons as to why I do not want you to let fear win. And here are my 3 reasons. Number 1, you were not born to be fearful. I believe that fears and anxieties are learned through personal experiences. We learn about what frightens us to the core. And though none of us were born with fears, when you allow it to win, you reject growing as a person. You've decided since A, then B. Since A, I'm fearful of this, then B, I'm not going to try it. But unknowingly, you begin to diminish your essence and power as a human being by becoming completely fine with stagnancy. When you choose to let fear win, you become your own bully in a way, your biggest bully, let me add, because you begin to create excuses and blocks, and you create this whole separate dialogue that keeps you gorilla glued to comfortability. And in the long run, your fears not only affect you, but those around you as well, because it becomes this uncontrollable energy that spreads without you even being aware of it. You and me, we're not born to be fearful. And I believe that the continuation of fear itself does not create a fulfilled life for anyone. Number 2, your fear is someone else's fun. My father, he turns 80 years old in a few months, is terrified of swimming. He hates it, he's scared, he's anxious, he's completely fearful of it, which is completely different from me because I love swimming. It's my therapy, it's like my bread and butter. I was a lifeguard for a few years, and it's really a peaceful place for me to be. When I say your fear is someone else's fun, this proves that it is okay to be fearful, but it's not always okay to stay that way. I want you to ask yourself some questions. I want you to ask yourself, what are you afraid of? Why are you afraid of XYZ? And where did this fear derive from? It had to have come from somewhere, maybe something or someone. And I want you to also ask, who do you know or who can you turn to alleviate your fear towards XYZ? Maybe you're afraid of spiders, flying on a plane, being in a relationship, speaking in public, getting out of your comfort zone to try new activities by yourself or maybe with someone. Maybe you're afraid of swimming. You can be afraid of, like me when I was postpartum, driving on the freeway. I would literally cry, I would scream, I would shake, my whole body would just tremble because it was a fear that I wasn't ready to face yet. It took me almost maybe like 3 years to really face my fears into driving on the freeway for more than 35 minutes. To some people, like a truck driver, this may be like, why are you so afraid of that? But towards other people, it can just be so real that it keeps and it sets them back in life. And let me tell you that moment where I did choose to face my fear, It felt so liberating and I felt very enlightened because I turned to this number two, your fear is someone else's fun. I turned to also some YouTube channels I would watch of truckers who would just drive and they would just be completely fine. They would be in their element. And I had to see it firsthand that my fear was actually somebody else's fun and it was their normal. Sometimes it takes this in order for you to face your fear because you want to see it in the first hand being enjoyable. You know, you want to see it that there's living proof it can be done. A few more questions that I do want you to ask yourself is, will it hurt if I learn more of what makes me fearful? Will it hurt if you face your fears? How would you feel if your fear was gone? By releasing your fear, how can it change your life? When you see your fear being someone else's fun, being someone else's normal, being someone else's, day-to-day activity, you have to muster up the courage within yourself to want to face your fears. And if not, then let it at least be an avenue you can eventually get help towards when you are ready to face your fears and live your life less afraid. And like I said, with me driving on the freeway to this day, had I not faced that fear, I still would have been regretting and kicking my own self in the butt because fears are so real. They are, and I get it because everyone approaches and handles them differently. But if you're listening to this video, I take it you're tired of allowing fear to win. You're ready to let fear go and you're ready to grow even more as a person. Now work through it. Easier said than done, but it can be done. Number 3, I know you can. Remove the fearful seed yourself. I know you can answer the questions provided to and for you, but sometimes it's just really nice to hear someone say it. I know you can because I believe in you. Now, I don't know you personally. I don't know your name. I don't know what you're afraid of. I don't know what you're going through. But I do know that you want to change in your life. And when you have just one person who believes in you more than you do yourself, it can make all the difference. Removing that seed that has been planted in your mind, the seed of fear, and allowing it to grow, allowing it to flourish, because you're watering it every day. Meaning that you're watering your fear every day by deciding to not face it. You decide to not face your fears. It causes nothing but negativity and hurt in your life. And that's a fact because that's what fear is. And I, being Tenemane, former Pep Squad leader, I'm telling you that I know what it feels like to cry, to scream, to yell for years because of numerous fears that was holding me back as a person. It was just this whole culmination, this whole concoction of fear in me until one day I had to just release it all. I get it. We all need support from someone who can relate to where it is that we've been. And I'm telling you, a strong support team can take you further than where it is that you're trying to go by yourself. And wherever, you're listening to this, whether it be in your house, whatever country, whatever, and even the year, if you're listening to this in 2025 or later on, whenever, I want you to take this that there is someone out there who believes in you. And it's me. I know you can do it. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath in, exhale out, and start. I know you can do it. Now you just need to know it just as much. These are my 3 reasons to not let fear win. Number 1 being, you are not born to be fearful. Number 2, your fear is someone else's fun. And number 3 is because I know you can. Remove the fearful seed yourself. I'm Tenemane. Thank you for tuning in here on Pretty Privilege. Aloha.